Welcome back to Klinga Games for my intro to QBA Season 3, which I realized I did not record, and I am playing my first match today. So this is going to be kind of improvised and just a quick rundown. So this is the team that I drafted in order. So I drafted Crobat, Registeel, Magmortar, Regice, Alakazam, Togepi, Porygon, Regirock, Stoutland, and Dugtrio Alolan. This season is going to be a little bit different, so we based this season off of Neon Colosseum from the Pokemon Battle Revolution game, which is really good if you haven't played it. It's on the Wii though, so probably not really available. But in the game you play through a bunch of tournaments. One of the tournaments is called the Neon Colosseum, and in the Neon Colosseum you get a random mix of you and your opponent's Pokemon. So we did a same kind of system here, but instead of using a wheel to select the Pokemon, at the beginning of the week we're given a random list of 6 Pokemon between us and our opponent's team, and we just kind of have to improvise with that set of Pokemon and just try to get the best strategy we can. So the drafting was a little bit different than you normally do because you have to be worried about not getting too good of a Pokemon and giving it to your opponent. So I'm just going to go through the team real quick. So the first Pokemon I drafted is Crobat for 2 reasons. 1, it's very versatile. It's a very good Pokemon. And 2, because it's my mascot. So I'm going to draft it with the first pick. So it's a good thing I picked a good mascot. The second Pokemon is Registeel. One thing I really love about Registeel is that it is mostly defensive, but as an attacker, it uses... it has good special and physical moves, so you're not stuck using one or the other. And it also has Body Press to take advantage of its high defenses, and it has some support options like Thunder Wave. And its stats are just ridiculous. 80 HP, 150 defense, 150 special defense. I've used it in previous seasons, and I didn't use it last season, and it was a disaster. So I'm always getting Registeel if I can because I love it. The third Pokemon is Magmortar, which is kind of a weird pick, but I figured it's a Pokemon that is good, but it doesn't ruin me if my opponent gets it. It's got an amazing special attack of 125, pretty average speed, and it has a very, very good move pool for special attacking. So it's got fire coverage, fighting coverage, ground coverage. It's got clear smog if your opponent is trying to boost themselves up. It's got psychic, electric. It's really a really versatile special attacker, but again, its stats are not too overpowered, so that if my opponent gets it, then I can play around it. I picked Regice next. I kind of got a soft spot for Regice after I built my team with it in just for regular Battle Stadium videos. It's got incredible special defense and pretty good special attack and defense too. I think I like Registeel is obviously the better Pokemon, but Regice is just fun to use, and I just kind of got a soft spot for it. So it's got a really good special attacking moveset, and it's got usable special attack. But again, if my opponent gets it, weak on the defensive side, so pretty easy to exploit. My next pick was Alakazam, which I'm really happy it was still available. I've used it every season so far, and I've loved using it. It is paper thin on defense, so it dies to one hit unless it's got Focus Sash. But it's got great speed and great special attack, and it can use Inner Focus, which will make it not able to be flinched, which can be useful, and Magic Guard, so it can only be damaged by direct attacks, which means it fits really well with Hail and Sandstorm. So if I set those up with Registeel or Regice, Alakazam can just play through it, no problem. For Togepi and the next Pokemon Porygon, I was digging deep into my points. We had a point cap this time, and my first couple picks were pretty expensive, so I had to get some low pointers. And Togepi is a very good Pokemon for how low it is. It obviously gets outclassed by Clefairy, Togekiss, and Togetic, and Clefable all as redirectors. But in terms of a cheap redirector, it was easily the best option. So it's got a ton of support options. Follow Me is the big one. That's the reason I picked it. But it also has Life Dew to heal itself and its partner, Yawn to help put the opponent to sleep, and Wish if I'm going to switch out or if I know I'm going to get knocked out. I can use Wish to get some health back, which I think uses Togepi's HP, which isn't great. It's only 35 base HP, but if I just max it out in EVs, it should do a pretty good amount to heal my Pokemon. So I'm hoping Togepi is worth something. It was really high of a pick for how low of points it is, but I think it could really help me out. Also, the same situation for Porygon. Porygon 2 was very expensive. Porygon is not really that expensive. And there's a good reason for that, is that Porygon 2 is really good and Porygon sucks. But it's also an unevolved Pokemon, so it can also use Eviolite, which 65 HP and then 70-75 defense. Pretty good with Eviolite. I think it's not obviously not going to live as much as Porygon 2 does, but it's usable, I think. Especially for the point difference that Porygon versus Porygon 2 was. So obviously it gets Trick Room, which is amazing. It gets Trick, which if I'm going to die, I can give an Eviolite to a Pokemon that wouldn't want it or needs power. It's got Electro Web for a different form of speed control. So I've got Trick Room to kind of slow down fast teams, and I've got Electro Web if I've got the fast team and want to keep going faster. It also has Eerie Impulse to lower the target's special attack by 2. And then it's got a really good special move pool. It's got moves like Shadow Ball, Psychic, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. And it has Ally Switch, but I refuse to ever use Ally Switch. It's the worst move in the game. That's just kind of my personal opinion. But I think it should be pretty fun to play with. It's got usable special attack. Obviously not great. It's not, my opponent's not going to be scared of Porygon. But as a support Pokemon that has some special attacking, it's pretty good in that role. Next I got Regirock. I figured since I had the first 2 original Regis, I figured I'd fill out the rest of the team. I'm not as big of a fan of Regirock as I am the other 2, kind of just because it's stuck in the physical attacking role, which Clear Body kind of makes that better, but it can still be burnt. But its defense is massive. Unfortunately, Rock is a horrible defensive typing. It's got so many weaknesses, but that could help with a weakness policy set. So it's not unusable, but of the 3 Regis, it's probably my least favorite. But it does have access to Body Press, Earthquake, Rock Slide, some fighting moves. It's got Fire Punch, Ice Punch. So it's not unusable. I feel like I'm talking down Regirock a lot, but it was actually the most expensive of the 3. It's just my least favorite. So it could, if we get it assigned, I'm not going to complain. Second to last was Stoutland. Stoutland's got a couple interesting abilities. It's got Intimidate, Sandrush, and Scrappy. All 3 of those can be useful, given the situation, or given different situations rather. Intimidate, obviously, just amazing for physical attackers. Just swap in, lower their attack, just for free. Sandrush, especially with Regirock and Registeel, and Doug Trio after it, they can set up Sandstorm, and with Sandstorm in place, Stoutland is just easily the fastest Pokemon. So it could be really useful. It's got some really good support moves like Helping Hand, Howl, Baby Doll Eyes, and Yawn. Its attack stat is pretty good, actually, 110. Speed isn't that great, but Sandstorm will make that pretty good. Special attack is horrible. So it's got some special attacking moves, but there's really no reason to use them because it would do no damage. But it's got fire coverage, dark coverage, obviously normal, steel, fairy. So it's got pretty good coverage. I think I usually just kind of look at Stoutland as a support Pokemon, but actually just in the process of describing it, I'm kind of convincing myself that it could be an attacker this season. So that could be pretty fun. I'll have to see how that goes. The last one I got was Doug Trio Alolan, and I think my opponents probably already know this, but I got it just because it's fast and it gets Bulldoze, so it can proc weakness policies on Registeel and Regirock. I've used weakness policy Registeel so much in this league and with the same people that I really doubt I'm going to surprise them with it, but it's just one of my favorite strategies. But it also has Bulldoze, it's got Iron Head, Memento, Beat Up, which I put on here, but I don't actually have any Pokemon that would benefit from it, so it's kind of pointless. But it's got Ancient Power, which is kind of weird. Ally Switch, which again I will never ever use because I hate it. It's got Stealth Rock, which normally isn't great in VGC, but with how weird the teams are and with the randomness of getting your opponent's Pokemon, it could be useful. I don't know. It also has Growl. I kind of forgot it has Growl, which normally you just get rid of immediately in game, but you know, if I don't get Stoutland, then Doug Trio Alolan with its speed could be a pseudo intimidator. I don't know. This is very improvised. I'm kind of just coming up with strategies on the fly while I'm looking at their movesets, but it could be pretty fun. It gets Final Gambit, which could be very good if Alolan Dugtrio didn't have 35 base HP. If you don't know, Final Gambit takes your current HP and basically just subtracts that from your opponents and you faint. But because Dugtrio has such pathetic HP, it's basically pointless. Basically, any of its attacks would do more. But that is basically the team. I'm still rocking the Crying Crobat icon from last season when I went on my gigantic losing streak to end the season. You can see here, Porygon 3 I only got for 3 points. Togepi I only got for 10. We had a limit of 240 points. So the very low hitters like that, the not fully evolved and the just frankly bad Pokemon, were basically needed to fill out some of the rosters. But that's the team. Again, this is just like the day of my first match, so just improvised. But I hope you watch the season, and I hope you enjoy it.